Let's spend a minute on Spartacus. Cory Booker, who this truly was like his. He held a filibuster. I guess it's not technically a filibuster. And why isn't it technically a filibuster? Because he wasn't filibustering anything. He just got up there in the Senate well and talked for 25 hours without stopping.
Yes.
He didn't go to the bathroom. He didn't eat. He didn't sit down. You weren't allowed to, or it would be broken.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a filibuster. He wasn't trying to stop anything. He was just up there to make a point that he's Spartacus. I mean, really, it was about him. And here he is after the fact now. Truly, to this moment, I have no idea what he was protesting. I have zero clue. I don't care. But here he is talking about the sacrifice this required of him. Sod 18.
But I really spent time dehydrating myself beforehand, so I did not have to go to the bathroom.
You didn't have to go to the bathroom at all for 25 hours.
Again, my challenge
on a diaper.
Was that my strategy was to stop eating. I think I stopped eating on Friday. And then to stop drinking the night before I started on Monday. And that had its benefits and it had its really downsides. And so instead of fighting or figuring out how to go to the bathroom, I ended up, I think, really unfortunately dehydrating myself.
Really, doesn't he remind you exactly of this guy?
Specific incident. What was the worst thing that happened to you in prison?
It is easy to forget the past. And I cannot answer your question because I frankly do not remember.
Were you
Nelson
beaten?
Mandela for the listening audience.
Not me personally, but many of my colleagues were beaten. But the experience was a very harsh one, and jail is never good, especially when one has a family. Hope was always there, and this is what saved us.
Same man.
It's the same
It's
thing.
a new version of the same guy.
Yeah.
This is he's Nelson Mandela.
Still get a chill when I hear like Mandela talking about that stuff. Not
And
so
also
much
Cory
with
Booker, Kmele, please have
not
some
so much.
respect.
The Seinfeld of the Senate giving his filibuster about nothing. It did not land all that well for me.
He got dehydrated, sir.
Yeah, I don't believe
Did you hear Chuck Schumer after he decided that 25 hours was quite enough? And he was like, the American people owe you the greatest thanks. The world, Mars owes you thanks. You are the best. And it's like, why? Because he just rambled for 25 hours? Imagine, no one says that to me. I fucking talk nonstop. No one, like, for nothing too. The exact same thing as him. And I never get accolades for it. Jesus.
No one says anything.
I love the fact this is the Democratic Party now. Like, the conversation that everyone's having, which is the right conversation, is that there's no policy, that you guys have screwed things up. How are you going to recalibrate? And the idea is to have Cory Booker, the most insufferable person in a building full of insufferable people, talk for 25 hours. I would literally vote for like American Communist Party before that for the Democrats after watching that. I tried to watch some of it. I just had no idea what he was talking about.
What's going on with these deportations?
We have that. Let's watch.
Oh, we have the Schumer.
Here it is.
Chuck Schumer, it's the only time in my life I can tell you no.
I just want to tell you a question. Do you know you have just broken the record? Do you know how proud this caucus is of you? Do you know how proud America is of you?
Yes. I got that top though. I had Chuck Schumer for you, Moynihan, but I have Frank Luntz for me. Watch.
What Cory Booker did over the last 24 hours may have changed the course of political history. I watched a lot of it. I listened to words. I listened to phrases, how he presents himself. Did he criticize Donald Trump? Of course he did. But he struck the kind of tone that grassroots Democrats are looking for. He gave them a reason to fight. He gave them a reason to stand up and say, this is my country too.
Okay, Frank Luntz, who, FYI, predicted Trump would lose in 2024 after the devastating September debate against Kamala Harris. Okay. He's the same one who said the GOP would win the House in the 2022 midterms by huge margins, that the GOP would win the Senate in 2022, that in 2021, he said Republicans are more pro-immigrant than elites realize, and Democrats are more pro-border security than elites realize. He said in 2021, the GOP shouldn't use the term border wall. They should use the term barrier. It's more accurate and less ugly. This is the same man who wants you to know now Cory Booker just changed the world.
Yeah, and he probably charged you $400,000 for all of those things to be wrong about everything. Can I confess something that I've never said to anyone?
Oh,
I've
please.
Never confessed before. I vomited in his house. I interviewed him. I'm not joking. I interviewed him and I got sick afterwards. I don't know why. And I think is actually true. It might have been because of the content of the conversation. I'm not sure. But yeah.
Doesn't he have a replica?
I've never talked about that, but that's
doesn't
true.
Doesn't he have a replica of the White House or something like that?
Yeah.
Correct.
The Oval Office.
Yes. In the Lincoln bedroom, and he has a replica of the Monica Lewinsky dress hanging.
What?
Oh, he does.
Were you in there?
It's just like Kid Rock. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you have a lot in common with him, Kmele. He's a big sneakerhead. So yeah, that's what else I found that out too. So,
I mean, that's not a lot in common.
Does he know you vomited in his house?
He does now. No, it was 2016. Yeah. 17.
Oh my God.
Face off of C-SPAN and starts paying attention. I shout out to Cory Booker for reminding us that the Senate exists because I haven't seen any news of that for years. But I was thinking back to the last time that I remember someone being captivated by an actual filibuster. It's when Rand Paul filibustered 12 years ago, and very rightly so. Like, it was an actual filibuster. I want to stop a thing from happening. What was the thing that he wanted to stop from happening? John Brennan being nominated to the head of the CIA.
Oh, that was a good one, Rand.
Liar. And it was a good one. And it actually it was sort of unplanned, and more people joined as they went on. And it became a critique of NSA surveillance and the ability for the Obama administration to drone American citizens without due process. Due process is something that we should champion regardless of who is president. And Rand Paul reminded us of that. But Cory Booker could have, if you think of what is happening this week in the Senate, in American politics, in American life, today on National Liberation Day, which is an absolutely comically ridiculous way to describe the imposition of import taxes in a nearly unprecedented sense. But the Senate right now has a bill on the floor co-sponsored by Rand Paul, and just as we were talking, now endorsed by Mitch McConnell, very interestingly enough, to undeclare a national emergency, which is the fake reason that Trump is using to do tariffs against Canada, the national emergency of the 19 kilograms of fentanyl that came across the border last year. So he could have been working with Republicans who are defecting right now on a bill that would actually limit the president's power in a meaningful way, in a way that also would have some symbolic resonance, because you would see for the first time really any Republicans showing any spine in opposition to Trump. And instead he gave a 25-hour speech and talked about his water tablets and whether he pooped on his own shoes. It's not as effective as look at me.
Yeah. It was a lot of detail about how he hadn't eaten in a certain amount of time before. And then suddenly you're thinking about Cory Booker's colon, and supposedly it's supposed to be inspirational to you.
Wow.
You're like, that's where you go. Come on. You know exactly what
I
he's
thought
walking you through.
my puking in Frank Luntz's house story was bad, but that,
He's trying to tell us I didn't want to get
colon.
backed up. I didn't want to have to run out of the Senate floor because, I had to empty the poop chute. That's really what he's trying to say. It's not me. It's a U.S. senator. Same U.S. senator who said this nonsense when he tried to stop the Brett Kavanaugh confirmation hearings. He literally said this. Watch.
And I could not understand, and I violated this rule knowingly, why these issues should be withheld from the public. Now, I appreciate the comments of my colleagues. This is about the closest I'll probably ever have in my life to an I am Spartacus moment.
God.
Yeah. That's him. This is all about Cory.
He lacks tact in the most profound way. That is actually the thing that makes him uniquely annoying and frustrating. And I think Matt is exactly right. He could have used this in a way more tactical way if all he's trying to do is engage in this kind of project of self-aggrandizement and strengthen his bid for supremacy in a leaderless party that is apparently was being drug around by the nose by Jasmine Crockett for about a month and a half. So at least that moment seems to have passed for now. But I will say, if I could say one positive thing, it's that he broke Strom Thurmond's record here. And Strom Thurmond's record from the 1960s is when he was filibustering.
When he tried to stop the Civil Rights Act.
The Civil Rights Act, So, along the grounds of states' rights, defending the rights of the states to actively discriminate. And of course, the Southern way of life, as Strom described it as the time. Strom seems to have found religion on these matters later in life. So I don't, hold it against him. But I'll give him points for having at least dislodged that record. This is a slightly less embarrassing thing for someone to have done publicly.
For the record, I want it to be known and I want it to be quoted that Kmele Foster does not hold the segregationist views of Strom Thurmond against Strom Thurmond. That's good to know. I'm the forgiving guy.
If not generous.
Check.
I care about people. I want the best for everyone.
Tariff wars, stubborn inflation. No wonder gold has been routinely hitting all-time highs. In volatile markets like the one we have now, don't sit on the sidelines with your head in the sand. You can take control and safeguard your savings. This is why so many Americans today are turning to Birch Gold Group. They have helped tens of thousands convert an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in physical gold. Is it time for you to hedge against economic instability with gold? To learn how to own physical gold in a tax-sheltered account, text MK to 989898. Birch Gold will send you a free, no-obligation info kit. Again, text MK to the number 989898. With an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and countless 5-star reviews, Birch Gold has helped many protect their savings with gold. It took us decades to get into the tangled mess they're trying to unpack right now in D.C. How long will it take to get out of it, and at what cost? Text MK to 989898 today. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.